Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm gonna show you guys, if you're interested, how to install a dash cam cameras. In today's technology, for some odd reason, they become really handy and very cheap as well. And and back in the days, those were luxuries, and those were stuff that you will only find in police vehicles and whatnot. So today we have that. We no longer have that luxury when it comes to purchasing these things, and they very cheap and very affordable. And the purpose of these dash cams is it's to me, that's the way I see it. It's mostly for insurance purposes. Um, Drivers, we all know, I drive one way, you drive your way, everybody drives a different way, and we can't really trust each other out there on the road. And if God forbid, one of you get into a car accident, uh, you have the proof that because I know most states, if not all of the states, I'm not sure, they have this thing called non-fault state, I guess. uh, if I get into a crash with somebody else, even if it's my fault, the states, that's just their law, will consider it as that, as it's I'm not at fault for that accident. And it comes really, when it comes to payouts, with these insurance companies, they have you pay, all these all these fees. There is premium and whatnot. So we can even afford to have to pay health insurance. Yet we it's a must for us to pay $250, $300 a month for insurance. I'm sorry, for car insurance. So in today's video, I'm gonna teach you guys, like I said, how to install um, dash cam cameras. This particular one, it's a dual camera. It's a dual lens, meaning there is a front-facing camera. There is also a camera that's facing on the outside of the vehicle. And the good thing about this one is, this one has a GPS, sorry, sensor mounted into it. That GPS, what it does is, let's say, if you were to go and review that video back on your computer, it'll it'll come, that video that'll be playing on the computer on your laptop will show, that'll show you a map of exactly where the where the that video was taking place at. It's a really good system. I love it. I've been using it for quite a while now. I have it installed in my truck, in a couple friends' trucks as well, and my wife has one of those. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and I installed them all. So this is what comes in the box. In the box, you should have one of these um, antennas. This is for the GPS. It's like I said, it's a very good system. You're all gonna love it. It's pretty cheap as well. It's only $37. I'm sorry, the camera is acting up a little bit. It's only $37, and you get one of these bad boys, which is the like I said, the GPS antennas. That's gonna be connected into the system. This is the camera. Like I said, it's a dual camera, dual lens. Um, this is the front camera. I mean the back camera and the front camera. I don't know which one you consider as front and back. So it's pretty easy to use. There's a menu. There's all the stuff that you'll probably you all familiar with in cell phones, since all of you guys already know how to work a computer, a cell phone, and whatnot. So these are pretty simple instruction. Um, this is the power outlet. This is where it's going. We're gonna get the power from. Um, there's a book. There's a manual. I mean, this only really gives you instructions or to work this out and whatnot. So, I mean, manuals can come handy, but for some odd reason, I never really read them. So I try to understand things on my own. Um, and this is the mount. This is where this is the part where the cup that's gonna be sucked into the windshield, and to have it stay in place. And the way I am going to set it up, I'm gonna run the wires from the inside, the panels and whatnot, because I'm the kind of person I hate having something look ugly, and I don't like having I don't like to see wires much. I mean, I don't mind wires, but I mean it's not wireless, this particular system. I know there are also some cameras that work with Bluetooth. I've seen a friend of mine that has one of them. I don't really like it because it doesn't have a face camera, and if there's one out there, I'm sure it's gonna be expensive since it's gonna be in your system. The way his work, once the system is up and running, he there's an app on his phone. He turns on the app, and whatever the camera sees, he's able to see it on his phone, and it's automatically recorded on his phone as well. It's recorded in the SD card. So like I said, I'm gonna be running the wires under there inside the panel. And the way I'm gonna try to have it set up is I need to get power somehow, and the power, I'm gonna need to get the power from this. So since we all know we use these for not sure if you're able to see it, for to charge our cell phones and whatnot. So I do not want to occupy that space. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be getting the power source from the wires behind this 12 volt power outlet unit thing. I don't really know what it's called because I know there's power there. So what I'm gonna be using one of these. They're pretty cheap. I was able to buy. That was a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, for about $10. About 10 of them came all the way from China. It took about a good 2 weeks to come in, but if you search it on eBay, you'll find one of these. And this is where I'm gonna have the system connected at. You don't need to again. You don't have to. You could directly connect the unit into the power source if you wanted to. But in my case, since like I said, I hate to see wires, so I'm gonna be using one of these so I can get the power somehow running through this. So let's get to work. I don't want to make this too long. It's been almost 10 minutes now of me talking and not really showing stuff. So let's get to it. Alrighty. So let's get to work. I am actually working in an FX35. I'm not sure if you guys familiar with these trucks. So what I need to do now, I need to get access to the power outlet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be starting by removing these panels for me to get access there. So first, what I need to do, I need to take the shift lever out of the way so I could get access to it. So because these panels, they're gonna be make things difficult for me to get access to the wires back in the back. It's very cold, so I'm sorry for me coughing all the time. I'm not used to it from South Florida. We're not really used to the cold. So the first thing I'm gonna be I'm gonna need to do, I'm gonna need to remove the lever there. What I need to do is I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna put this down. Pull on this. So we got this out of the way. There's a panel there. I don't know why car makers do that. They make it really easy for us to remove these things. We don't really need stuff to get them out. See, all I did, I put my hands under there, and I was able to remove it. So, so we need to be very careful since we have some of the things that gonna be plugging in there. We're gonna have the emergency lights, these components for the heated seats and whatnot. So we need to disconnect those and put them out of the way. A little difficult since my fingers are frozen right now. So, with the help of one of these bad boys, I was able to get this out of the way. So I need to unscrew this panel here to fully get access to the panel there. Again, we don't really have to do much. Once you get the screws out of the way, it's an easy process to get these clips out of the way. One thing you guys need to do, you need to make sure that you put the gear on neutral. Make sure you apply the foot brake or the hand brake for some vehicles. So right here, this is what we need. This is the clock. This one has a digital looking clock, which is really nice looking. And this is the cigarette port light. They no longer call them cigarette ports because they're not allowed to put these cigarette things anymore. So this was the most difficult part, and now let's get to the easy part. The easy part is to run the wire up in the ceiling under the dashboard by the blower, and have it reach all the way here. That's pretty simple. in this particular vehicle, there's not much space for you to work on the. So since we need the wires to go from here, and like I said, we're gonna be running the wire on the this up the panel up to the ceiling. So what I'm gonna try to figure out, I'm gonna try to figure out a way to have this to come up out here. That way, I can use I can have the power connected in here without um, using the space for this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be trying to find a space under there. We don't want to mess with not much stuff. So we were successful with this one. Was able to have the connector come under there to the panel to come to my way. So nice and clean, we're gonna be running the wire out here. So in some vehicles, there's a large gap here. So with this one, I kind of like this truck because everything is tight in here. So by you putting the wires in here, it's not really gonna affect anything that we don't need to bother. So what we need to do now, we need to pretty much measure the amount of wire we're gonna be needed. So since we're gonna be having the camera hook up here, so we need to figure out exactly how much wire that we need. So we're gonna start by running the wires under here in the panel, so we could start working on it. Okay, so the most difficult part for some people, some of you, if you have these trucks, for example, that have tight spaces, it's this part here where you need to run the wires in between this for you to have the wire running under there. So this, like I said, is the easy part because to me it's easier than getting all these components out to get the power source and all that. So we we have all the panels back in place, nice and tight. You don't really have to do much. The wire is under there, and let's proceed. All right, since we already know how to run the wire for the power, so this is the wire for the GPS is the same thing. Uh, we do not need to run it all the way. There, we could just place it somewhere under the dashboard. That'll be fine, because all you need is to get the signal in. Some people will put them on the outside. I don't really like it that much. You could just put it anywhere. It's fine. It's powerful enough. So I'm not gonna show you this part of the video. That's something you can figure out on your own. It's pretty easy. You just run it all the way to the ceiling. So we're gonna be having two wires hanging there. Ciao. All right, camera time. So we're gonna need to set up the camera. All right, now that we have everything in place, nice and tight, so we need to get the power source. So here we have the cigarette port, and there is a negative and a positive in one of these. So I don't have a tester. I don't really know which one is the negative, which one is the positive. So we don't want to break the camera or anything else. If for this, I mean, there's a fuse, so we don't really I mean, the fuse can blow, can replace, but the camera is $37. We don't want to go and replace it if something, well, we're gonna have to go wrong. So what I'm gonna need to do, I'm gonna need to run a quick test. I have one of these, and these are like $10, easy to replace. And I'm gonna plug it in there, and see if there's any power that comes on there. So negative is always the black wire. So let's go here first and see if it works. So negative, black wire, and red wire. It's okay. So here it is. All right, that's all we needed. All right, since we have identified where we need to get the power from, I have it connected here, pretty nice and tight. We're gonna run one more test to make sure everything is running the way it should. All right, and here it is. So let's test out our camera. It's not easy to do all this with one hand and holding the camera with the other. So let's give it a try. And there's light. There it is. So it doesn't have an SD card on there yet, so we're gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna show you guys our to have this to get this to work. All right, so we have everything nice and cleaned back to where it belonged to. Like I said, I did not want to occupy this port here. We're gonna go ahead and test it out to make sure everything is working, is up and running. All right, we're gonna be testing out the camera. So since that we have the power directly from here, the camera will only turn on automatically once there is power from the vehicle that goes from here to the camera. So as soon as you shut off the power, the camera will automatically stop recording and will turn off on its own as well. There we go. So we don't have it. We're gonna put a 256 gigabyte SD card in there, and it's gonna ask you to format the SD card. Make sure you have a blank card, or if you have something important stuff in it, make sure you store them on your computer elsewhere. So we're gonna start using it. So now that we have all this everything set up, the camera, I mean, you don't have to, but you could put tape on the wires if you like. That's just you know, to make it look nicer. So here I have a 16 gigabyte SD card. This is you can buy something that has more capacity if you like. So turn on the switch. All right. Now it's telling us there's no card in the camera. Oops. So as soon as you put a new card in there, it's gonna ask you to format the SD card. I mean, which is, you know, normal procedure. Yes. Now it's it's doing its work. And here we are. All right, this is the label there with the instructions and whatnot. We're just gonna go and peel this off, put it out of the way. All right. And there you have it. Now it's recording the date. It's not right. So we're gonna set everything up. Press OK to stop the camera menu. Record mode. Channel 1 and 2. That means for both front and back camera. This is the time set up. Just for change the date and whatnot. I don't know what time is it now, so I'm not gonna do that now. So the beep is a bit annoying. I don't like hearing the beep, so I'm just gonna shut this off. Alright, so the language is on default, and G sensor sensitivity, normal, and so on. It's a pretty easy setup. Like I showed you guys on as you can see, there are no wires hanging anywhere, and it's pretty clean. And that's it. Well, thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys next time, and I'm sure we're gonna be having a lot of fun. Well, thanks for watching. Bye bye.